Well, tonight, News 3 continues its month-long special on the greatest generation.
An average of 900 World War II vets pass away every day, making their stories all the more important to hear. Last night, we introduced you to a survivor of the invasion of Iwo Jima.
Tonight, News 3's Alice Massimi brings us the story of yet another amazing World War II veteran.
That's right, Tina and Russ. Tonight's veteran, Rufus Shelkoff, not only found himself on the front lines of the battle at Normandy, but he had to treat the thousands of wounded, an experience he calls traumatic. Growing up in the small town of Greenwood, South Carolina, Rufus Shelkoff had just finished college when he was drafted. A business major, Shelkoff soon found himself in the medical field.
Bandaging and emergency treatments and how to stop the bleeding.
Just some of the things he was taught before being hit in the face by the real thing in Europe.
We were the first ones after the guys got wounded, emergency aid. All we were supposed to do was tag them and ship them back to the hospital where they could get better treatment.
Shelkoff admits he saw gruesome things, especially on the shores of Normandy, where he landed just 2 days into the battle.
And it was quite a mess when we got there. You know, all the stuff that we saw on the beach.
A scary experience?
Oh, yes, it was to be. Bombing and carrying on, you know, all that stuff falling around. It was quite, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it again.
On his first night at Normandy, Shelkoff earned his Purple Heart.
And all of a sudden, big something come over the, and I tried to get in the foxhole as quick as I could. I didn't get it, my whole self in it. The leg was caught outside. So I got shell fragments all up and down my leg. And
shipped back to England to recoup, this Army tech sergeant soon found himself right back on the battlefield.
Certain times of night when it's raining, you can't see it, you got wounded all over the field, and you try to go to this one or that one, and some of them in terrible shape. And it was pretty traumatic, and you had to try to make them as comfortable as you could.
But he wasn't just treating Americans.
I'm in an officer's carriage. It's got the emblem from the German Nazis on the side here. We treated the Germans too. It was at our aid stations, and he had it, so I just took it off.
Glad to put this all behind him, he admits he was happy to serve his country.
You always say that you did your part, whatever it was, and you were part of a big, experience.
Well, for those of you who are not familiar with Normandy, it started on June 6th, then lasted until late July. The invasion was the largest amphibious assault ever. Sadly, though, more than 5,000 Allied troops were killed. Well, next week I'll be back with some more great stories. We will meet a soldier who parachuted into France and a member of the mighty 8th Air Force who was a POW at one of the infamous Stalag prison camps.